This
Yeah.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay. 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 So yesterday class we completed the table, right? Images. Okay. And hyperlinks table like this. Okay. And some other content like block quotes also can write in HTML. Suppose if I have any like a paragraph. Okay. So this is again one more paragraph used on the top. Okay.
We can't see the screen.
Oh, so, okay. And then share my screen. Can you see my screen? Apurva and Ananta?
Yeah, now we can see.
Okay. Okay. And here, just a copy pasted one paragraph text on the top of the page. Okay. So this is a regular paragraph. Suppose if you want to use like some tab space before the paragraph text. Okay. So for this, we can use the Blockquote tab. So here, before paragraph tag, here I'm going to use Blockquote. Okay, Blockquote open tag and close tag. Once apply the Blockquote, we'll see like some space on the left side of the paragraph. It's like some tabbed content. Okay, and little bit font size will be increased. Okay, you can see some space on top, left, right, and bottom also. Okay, suppose if you want to check the value of the Blockquote space, you go to inspect element and select the Blockquote. Okay, see in the orange color, we have some space like margin space. In the box model, you can see the values. Top 16, bottom 16, left 40, right 40. Okay, so that is margin value will apply with the block. Okay, so inside the suppose if you want to use some quotation marks. Okay, so by default with contents these quotes are coming. Okay, suppose if you want to apply your own quotes quotation marks, we have the Q tag. Okay, so here for example from here I'm going to use quotation marks using Q tag. Okay, Q is started and I was closed here on HTML, CSS. Okay, now it is in the quotation marks. Okay, so this one, this text. Okay, so like this using the Q tag also we can put the quotation marks. That default double quotes. Okay, and coming to any suppose superscript and the subscript. Okay, suppose if you're writing any some math calculations or equations. Okay, so with HTML tag like the superscript subscript, you can use that. Okay, for example, here I have one H2 tag. Okay, so here for example, superscript. Okay, so here SCP open tag and close tag. Okay, so here for example here today like so today what is the date 19th so 19th and June 2020. Okay, so this is like a regular text. Okay, This th should be inside the superscript. So it's come after 90, like this. See now, the th is like a superscript. Any like mathematical equations like a plus b whole square. Okay, suppose if you want to write a whole square, you can use the superscript CAP. Okay, the same way, uh, subscript also. Okay, subscript means suppose here is 2o. Okay, so the 2 should be subscript. Okay, so for the 2 I'm going to use subscript. So like this. Okay, so the 2 is subscript in this 2 and th is a superscript in the 8 to read it. Okay, just you can use the superscript tag and subscript tag. Okay, so like this you can use any superscript, subscript and blockquote content. Okay, and forms related, like before going to form I want to tell you the iframe. Okay, okay, so here we are going to use another website link in our web page using the iframe. So that means any other website, like suppose news portal, okay, or some any tutorial from YouTube videos. Okay, so just copy that link and put it in your web page so that that website available in your web page. Okay, so here I'm going to use iframe tag. Iframe. Okay, once you use like iframe, it will take some width and height by default. Like some window. Now it is empty window, and I'm going to call some video in that window. Okay, so for this we are going to use iframe. Let me give some any small video in this sample video. Okay, it's going YouTube. So inside our images folder, I'm placing the video. I'm just giving a simple name. So here I'm going to give sample.mp4. Okay, so this file I'm going to use inside our iframe. So that means the file will be available in our. Okay, so here um, no, actually sorry, video is not here, like link, any website link. For example, any news portal website link. Okay, you can use it here. So not video. Video you cover any HTML-5. Okay, using the video tag and audio tag. I will cover in the HTML-5. So, but here I'm going to use any other website link using the search attribute and then link, website link. Okay, so here I'm going to use some online website like this, for example. So this website I'm going to display in our web page. Okay, using iframe and SR certificate. like this. Okay, now you can see that website within the your web page. Next. Okay, so now we can customize width and height. Okay, so here you can say width 100%. Okay, and I'm going to give height also some like around the 500 pixels. Like this. Okay, so entire website you can see in your web page. Okay, and other actions, the everything is same. All the content you can scroll down, scroll up, everything is same. Okay, so for displaying any website, not only this, any like news portals or any other YouTube videos also you can display in your web page. Okay, so I will show you the YouTube examples also. Okay, so here I'm going to open like for example you can say here HTML5 HTML tutorial something. Okay, so here some video is there from the YouTube. Okay, so here just right click on video and copy embed code, the fourth one. Okay, just copy this and paste in your web page. Okay, so with iframe tag, okay, width value and height value and source of the video. Okay, it will come automatically. Once you copy the embed code, right click, copy embed code, you will get all this code. So, okay, so now this video you can see in your web page. See here. See here. Okay, so here have YouTube link, and now you can click on the button and you can play. Okay, all other features available. What are the features available in the YouTube? All features is available in your web page also, like mute, unmute, forward, okay, and settings like YouTube link, full screen mode, everything is available. Okay, so like this, you can use any link, okay, for displaying their websites using iframe and then source and then website link. Okay, so you can customize with width value and the height value. Okay, and coming to the forms. Okay, generally why we are using the forms, like you can say like a login form, like a registration form. Okay, like suppose if you are registering for any college admission purpose, okay, you have to fill a lot of details, like some personal details of and education details, okay, contact details. Okay, so all these details you are going to fill and finally submitting the form. So that means what will happen, so after submitting, your data will be stored in their data center, and they will contact you and they will give some information. Okay, so for this we are going to use forms. Forms, inside the forms, labels, text boxes, radio buttons, check boxes, drop downs. Okay, all these form elements. Okay, so here first I'm going to create one form tag here. Okay, so this is the form tag, form open tag and close tag. Okay, for the form tag, nothing happened HTML page. Okay, so inside the form tag, I'm going to use like input. Okay, So input nothing but like some text box. Okay, so user will enter some value based on the label. User will enter some value. So here is my text box. So I can enter any the alphabets, okay, numbers, everything I can use, and any other characters. Okay, so any data we can enter in the text box. Okay, so before going to use the text box, so I should say what is this text box. Okay, so here I'm going to use label. Using the label tag, I can say here, for example, first name. Okay, so in the label, I said like first name, so that user will understand and they can enter first name on the text box. Okay, so like this, we are going to use multiple labels, text boxes. Okay, radio buttons. Okay, and checkboxes, drop downs, and other like all HTML form elements we are going to use, like login, registration, this kind of forms. Okay, so here in the form section, we have to provide some attributes. Okay, attributes means here, first I'm going to say method post. Method is post. So why we are filling the method is post? After filling your information, end of the form, you can see submit button or register button like that. Okay, so after clicking the submit button, it will go to the data will go to database. Okay, so for that action we are going to provide the method post. So the post nothing but sending your data to the database. Okay, and the next attribute is action. Okay, action is for example here you can say register dot php, okay, or JSP or Java or any other server side language. Okay, so this is like a server side page. Action is equal to register dot php. After filling the information, all data will collect and it will go to the register dot php. Okay, and from here processing the data to the database. So first the front end part, the data will collect and it will go to the action reach.php, and here the server side action will be happen and then data will store on the database. Okay, so this is like a PHP. It can be any like PHP or JSP, any server side language program. Okay, and here for example, if you are using more than one form in the same page, so we need to provide some name, some unique name for each and every form. Okay, so here I'm going to say name. For example, here you can say register. Okay, so why? Because in the same page, if you use like two forms or three forms for the different purpose, okay, you should provide name different name to each form. Otherwise the page will be get confused. Okay, for example, one is the login form and another one is the registration form. Okay, suppose one more form for the payment gateway, like a payment details. Okay, so once you create any more than one forms in the same page, so we need to provide name to the each form. Okay, so these three attribute name, method, and action. Okay, and here okay, so like this label we are using just displaying the text. Okay, in the text box I'm going to say type is equal text. Okay, and the name is equal like you can say first name. Okay, so in the type text box, so we are going to say the type is equal text. Okay, the type means what kind of data you are entering in the text box. Like text means you can say any data, like alphabets, numeric, any other characters, symbols, any all data you can enter in the text box once you set the type is full text. Okay, so that means we need to mention the data type also. Okay, so here let me show you this. And same thing, just I'm going to copy and paste here. So for example here, last name. Okay, so here also the type is equal text. I'm just changing the name of the text box. Okay, so now like two text box we have, and I'm going to take one more other data type. Here I'm going to use email address. Okay, so in the data type we should say the data type is email. Okay, and the name also should be changed, email, like this. Okay, and no data, like for example if you want to enter only numeric ones, like for example pin code. Okay, pin code or mobile number. Okay, like some any card number, like credit card number or debit card number. Okay, so you can say here for example if you can say phone number or something, like I can say mobile. Okay, and data type is number. Okay, so like this we can say data type number and name also should be changed, like you can say phone or something else. Okay, like here we have the first one, first name text box, last name text box, and the email text box, mobile number text box. Okay, so here suppose if you enter any, like suppose here if you enter any alphabets, okay, it won't accept. Now it is not accepting. Okay, but here we can enter any data in the first name, last name, email, you can enter any data. So here also, okay, so first three text boxes we can enter any data. In the fourth, like in the mobile text box, we can't enter any data except numeric values. Okay, like here I can enter the numeric, all numeric values. Can't enter any other characters, symbols, and alphabets. Okay, why? Because here the data type is number.
Okay.
Okay, so like this, in each and every data type we need to mention what is the data type. Okay, so that the browser will understand and it will happen some validation. Okay, and some browser settings. Okay, so here these are some labels and text boxes. Okay, and coming to the radio buttons. Okay, so here
If we have like alphanumeric, then what we have to give alphanumeric?
alphanumeric.
Let's say door
Yeah,
number.
that's what.
Okay.
Yeah. So for example, if you have like a mixed kind of data, just you can say text.
Oh, text. Okay.
Text is on screen. Okay,
Okay.
so you can enter any data. This is symbols, characters, alphanumerics, everything. Okay, so in the actually this is HTML5 data type. Okay, they introduced in the HTML5, and just I given some example, number example. Okay, so in the HTML5 class, I'm going to teach the full fetch form, like with the violations. Okay, what are the tags, what are the attributes. Okay, introduced is HTML5. Okay, this is HTML4 only, right? So that's why I'm giving some basic examples. Okay, let me show some simple example.
I thought it's HTML5.
What Apurva?
No,
Anand?
this is we thought, means I thought it is HTML5, isn't
Okay,
it?
no, it is HTML4 only, the basic one.
Oh, okay.
This is HTML4. Okay.
But yesterday, the border was coming red. We thought that was because we were supposed to use HTML5.
No, here actually I created like a HTML5 doc. Okay. Why? Because if you mention HTML4, some of the features not available. I mean, some of the tags not available. Okay, so I cannot teach those tags. So that's why I given the doc type HTML5 doc type, and in the table section I teach about the border and width and other properties. Okay, got it, Purva?
Yeah.
Okay, so suppose here I'm going to say date. Okay, so in the mobile text box, the data type was date now. See, you will have the complete calendar like this. It's like some plugin type, JavaScript jQuery plugin type. But here we didn't use any JavaScript jQuery and CSS. We didn't use any other external links, nothing. Okay, what I said, just I said only data type is date. That's it. Okay, so like this kind of tags and attributes introduced in HTML5. Okay, so that I will cover in the HTML5 class. Okay, and here I'm going to use like checkboxes and radio buttons. Okay, so here, for example, here suppose gender. Okay, so my label is gender, and here you can say input type. Okay, type is equal to radio. I'll use the label also here. For example, here you can say male. Okay, so like here you can say female, and third one you can say some other things. Okay, so like this three labels, three text box we have. Okay, the first one, the male, female, and gender. Okay, now what happened? So all the values we can select, but that is not correct. It should be any one, either male, female, or other. Okay, so here some condition will be happen. Okay, internally some condition will happen. Once I select male, the other two like female and other is false. Once I select the female, the male and other is false. Okay, so here for this we are going to provide the name here name. Here I'm going to say gender. Right. Where it is that last one. See, if you click on this, okay, if I select the female, okay, the male is become false. Now, female is true. Okay, if I click on the others, okay, the other two like male and female is become false and other is true. So that means once you select any gender, the other one is will deselect by default. So internally some condition will happen, either yes or no. Like if it is male, the female and other false. Okay, yeah. Tell me, Apurva, something asking.
No. Can I see the HTML? Yeah. Why does it say male right next to the label instead of near the radio?
No. When I'm saving the document, it's taken by default. I didn't use some before that. Okay, let me. So it should be like this. Okay, actually this is order, right? So before I type like this. Okay, so I type like this, but when I'm saving my document, okay, so it will take some order. See, it's taking like complete two line. So it's like some code formatter in the Visual Studio Code. And using the labels, text boxes, and so this is only text, right? There is no any tag like label. Okay, so that means it will take beside of the label text box and input box and female. Okay, if you use any tag, for example label, okay, or some other tag, okay, it will take new line.
Okay.
Okay, that is not a matter, just code format and VS Code. Okay, so here you got it right about the radio buttons.
Yes.
Suppose if you're writing in some online exam, one question and four optional answers or multiple answers. Okay, so from the four answers, only one answer will be correct, and the user should select one answer, and rest of three like false. Okay, so in that kind of requirement also you can use the radio buttons, the data type radio. Okay, and the same way we are going to use checkboxes. Okay, suppose you are applying some courses, you want to select more than one course, like 2, 3, 4 courses. Okay, so here I'm going to apply the label. Here I'm going to say courses, and here search.
I have a question.
Yeah, tell me, no problem.
So for everything else, when we are writing it, there's a certain order, but for the radio buttons, the order is changing. Is that because it's all going to be in one line?
Yeah, we can write in online also, that is not a problem. So here the main thing is here, otherwise let me take some label tag in the text. Okay, so let me open label, open tag and close tag like this. See, now it's taking automatically new line, the mail text. Okay, same way you can apply the female and others also. So now it is become new line. For this also we can use. See now. Okay, so that means if you put some text without using any text, it will take like inline text. It will place side by side. Okay, once you use any tag like a label or any other header tags, it will take new line. It will place like one below one. Is it clear? Like
No,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
I
So,
meant like for email and mobile number, there's two different lines and it's not written in one line. That's because
hmm.
there's a certain setup. So why is that different for the radio one?
No, there is no any difference here. Just we can place like this also. There no any difference between the email and mobile and in the radio save button section.
Okay.
Yeah,
Earlier it was in 2 lines, so I was confused.
okay. Okay, but the mobile number, email, we are going to enter some value like first name, last name, email, mobile number. Okay, but here only thing we need to select any gender value. So user cannot enter anything. Only you should select. So that's why like it's like a video buttons
Okay.
like this. Okay. So here use the checkboxes. Okay, for the courses purpose, I'm going to use the multiple courses. You type input type checkbox. So here, let me open this label. For example, here UI development one course. Like I have 3 4 courses. For example, here you can say designing. Okay, suppose here you can say web development. Okay, suppose here you can say full stack development. Okay, so like this 4 courses I have. See here we have text checkbox and post. Okay, checkbox and post means here I can select more than one course. Okay, I selected one first UX designing and I selected the full stack development. No, no, here I think the UI development is the top line. Let me give one break on this. Or you can use the HR also, like horizontal roller. Okay, so here the first one is UI development and UX designing, web development, and full stack development. Okay, you can select more than one course. When you're registering the form, you can select more than one. Okay, so using the checkbox, you can select more options like this. Okay, it can be any like courses or any, for example, any other fields or any values. If you want to select more than one, you can use checkboxes. Okay, so here, for example, you can say disable also, or by default, you can select any one. Okay, by default, if you want to select any course, so here you can say selected. Check that attribute. Okay, once you apply the checked attribute, so by default, once page loading, by default, the checkbox will be selected. Okay, and you can you can use the disable also. Disable. Okay, so checked and disable is the HTML-5 new features. This time giving some small example in the checkboxes. Okay, so here the first course is by default checked and it is disabled. So that means disable means user cannot change the course options. So that means if you selecting any course, so some maybe they will provide some free course. Okay, like this. For example, UX designing, UI designing, they are providing some free course like personality development skills or spoken English. Okay, they are providing some course. Okay, so that means with your courses, you will get this course as a free or some offer like this. Okay, so for this, you can use the checked attribute and disable. So disable means the course will be disabled so that user cannot change. So user cannot deselect the course. Okay. So like this, you can use the checkboxes like want to select more than one courses. Okay, and some other like these are some basic HTML tags like on this drop down. Okay, drop down also is there. Select and option. Select. Okay, and inside the select, I'm going to use option. Okay, so here I'm going to, for example, a label. So in the label, I'm going to suppose here I'm going to locations. Okay, my label is locations, and here I'm going to say Hyderabad first option. Okay, so here New Delhi, Mumbai, and then some Vijayawada something. Okay, it's like the 4 cities we have in the location section. So this will display as a drop down. See here you can see location label, and first by default Hyderabad you can see because that is the first option. Okay, and once you click on this drop down, you can see other locations. Okay, you can select any other like New Delhi or Vijayawada or some Mumbai. You can select. Okay, so this is one more to select the other options like this. Okay, suppose if you want to select more than one, here also possible. In the section, in the select, you can say multiple times. Okay, once you set the multiple, you can select more than one location. Like first, I selected the Hyderabad. Okay, and you can use press the control from the keyboard, and you can select more than one. Hyderabad, Mumbai, and Vijayawada like this also you can select. Okay, so like this, you can use the any drop downs. Okay, and in the finally on the end of the form, we'll have some button like login, okay, or registration or send, okay, or sign in. Okay, so here also I'm going to use input. So input and data type submit like this. Okay, and then value, some name to the submit button. Okay, value, suppose you can say register. So now you can see register button. Okay, so once you click on the register button, all these values will collect and it will go to the registration.php. Okay, and here some server side process will be there, and then data will store on your database. Okay, so before going to submit the form, here we need to do a lot of things like front end validations. Okay, like some mandatory fields. Okay, or some mandatory data types. Okay, and applying CSS. Okay, so we need to do a lot of things before going to submit the form. Okay, so here this is some like HTML4 basic HTML form, and in HTML5 I'm going to teach more on this form section with validations, new attributes, new data types, and all. Just I given one example, that is date picker, right? Once you set date type, okay, the entire calendar plugin available in your page. Okay, so like that we have around 15 to 20 like API type of data types and the validations. Okay, and the new attributes like placeholders. Okay, you can use this. Okay, so this is our HTML form page, like forms, the form and labels, text boxes, video buttons, drop downs, and all. Okay, so here these are most of the tags, the HTML4. Okay, so tomorrow onwards, I'm going to start HTML5. And before going to start, I'm giving some small introduction about CSS.
Okay.
Okay, okay. So here, as I said yesterday, yeah, this is one example writing the CSS. Okay, so here mainly what is the CSS? Okay, so here what is CSS means? Here once you completed with your HTML part, writing content, everything, and you need to apply some styling for the content. For example, font size, font name, background colors, borders, gradients, okay, and the position like margins, paddings, okay, and even animations. Okay, so these are all we are going to write in the CSS. Okay, so how to use the CSS? So how to use the CSS means here we have some set of rules in the CSS. Okay, set of rules means here this H1 become like a tag selector, and inside the curly braces what we have, this is like a declaration block inside the curly braces. Okay, so that is declaration block. Again, we have three declarations. The first one, display inline, is one declaration, font size one declaration, and text decoration one declaration. Okay, so once you mention this CSS selector, so this H1, whatever we have, the display inline, font size, the text decoration, all the styles will apply in your H1 tag. Like for example, here it is. Yeah, this is my H1. Okay, so the inline tag and text decoration, these three will apply to the H1 tag. Okay, so that is like some rule. Once you set any selector, it's not only H1, any selector. You can say H2, okay, or you can say paragraph, you can say ing, okay, any tag. So that is calling selectors, CSS selectors. Again, in the CSS selectors, we have three type of selectors: the class selector, ID selector, and tag selectors. Okay, that I will teach you more in the CSS class. Okay, so once you create this kind of selector, so the CSS will apply in your S1 content. Okay, so like this, we are going to write CSS. Okay, so how we are going to apply the CSS to our HTML document? Okay, here in three ways we can apply the CSS. One is inline, okay, and internal, sorry, internal and external, like this. Okay, so inline means here, let's say CSS also here. Okay, inline CSS means this will work only within the tag. Within the tag or section. Okay, so it means if you write the inline CSS, it's just like a inline tags. Okay, suppose let's show you one example here. Suppose here where is the headers, paragraphs. Yeah, suppose the H1 tag, I'm going to apply style, color, and here I'm going to apply some color, blue, violet, brown, or something. Okay, so now once you set the style color value, so that color is applying to your H1 text. Okay, so that means I have applied the CSS within the tag. So that means this color is available only within this tag. Okay, this color will not apply any other H1s. For example, if I use one more H1 here, okay, so here this color will not apply to this H1. Okay, so let me check that. See here, this is again black. Okay, so that means once you write any inline CSS, it will work only within the tag or within the section. So that is called inline CSS. So that means you are going to write directly inside the tag. Okay, and coming to the internal CSS within the page. Within the page means here in the top of the page in the head section. So here I'm going to use style open tag and close tag. Okay, so here I'm going to say h1 selector and the curly brace declaration. Here I'm going to say color. Okay, the color I'm going to apply the dark blue here. Okay, first let me check this color where it is applying. Yeah, it's applying the blue color. But here in the code I didn't apply any CSS on the this H1. Simply use the H1 open tag, some text and close tag. But in our output the blue color is applied. So that means suppose if you mention any external internal CSS on the head section, okay, all the selector will find out and the CSS will apply. Okay, so that means within the page we can write the any inline internal CSS. So that means that CSS available only this page using the style open tag and close tag, and you can write your CSS in between. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so like this internal CSS you can use, and third one is external CSS. All the pages you can say, all the pages, all the sections, entire application you can say. So here what we are going to do, so here in the head section I have written some selector and some declaration, right? The same code I'm going to write inside our style.css, that is external file. So here I'm going to create one external file saving with .css. Okay, so that document I'm going to link in the all the pages in each and every document on the head section. Okay, so like this. So before I given some external information, right, in the head section when I'm teaching the head and meta information. Okay, so like this you can create any suppose here I'm going to create one document here. Let me save style.css inside our CSS folder. So here style.css. Yes. Okay, I'll remove this and I'll add on. Okay, so this document I saved in my CSS folder. Okay, so here I have a rule like a H1 and with some color. Okay, so this style sheet I'm going to link in my HTML document using the link tag and relative style sheet. Okay, and then path of your style sheet where it is inside CSS folder and style.css. Okay, so like this you can link the style sheet in your web page. Okay, so that CSS will apply entire the page. So now also the blue color is applied. Okay, so like this, we can write the CSS and we can apply in 3 ways. One is the inline, external, inline, internal, external CSS. Got it, right? So is there any doubt on this for applying some CSS to your web page? So first what we do, first we need to create one external document, external style document. So in the document, we are going to write all the CSS selectors and the declarations. Okay, and this style sheet we are going to link in all the HTML pages using link related tag. So that means once the page loaded, automatically it will go to the style.css as per rules, as per selectors. It will go to the body content. You find the tags or class names, and CSS will apply on this. Okay, so like this, we can write CSS and we can apply to our web content. Okay, so here these some tags, right? So here I set like a class selector, tag selector here, the H1 is. So H1, H2, paragraph, ULLI, input, img, table. So these are all predefined HTML tags. So the same tags we are calling in the style sheets. Okay, so out of this tag selector, you can say your one like user defined. Okay, using dot first. Okay, and you can say any name, like for example you can say busy color, that is user defined class. Okay, or you can say button. Okay, or navigation or link. You can say anything as per your requirement, as per data. Okay, you can say your own name and you can write the CSS also. Okay, and this is user defined, and you can say class selector, this one. So the first one is tag selector and the second one is class selector, that is user defined, and the third one is ID selector. Here I'm using a hash. Okay, hash and then some ABC, some text, and then declaration. Like here for example, like sign in or something. Okay, so when using the hash symbol, you can say ID selector. Okay, basically these three selectors we're using entire the CSS: tag selector, class selector, and ID selector.
So the class selector, then we have to put it in the HTML5 and then call the
Yes.
class selector.
Yeah, we need to apply this class in our HTML. Wherever you want, like a form section or so many content or any image section, you need to call this class name and ID names, because these two is user defined. Okay, your web page don't know what is the button, where is the button class, where is the CSS. Okay, so that means the whatever the class button and the ID name, okay, you should apply in your HTML tags. So then only it will apply, otherwise it will not apply, because these two is the user defined, they don't know what is that. Okay, but when come to the H1, okay, the H1 tag in the HTML page, we are using all H1 tags, top of the page or middle of the page or bottom of the page. Okay, once the page loading, it will find the all H1 tags. Okay, and the CSS will apply.
Okay.
Okay, so basically these three ways we can write the CSS. I mean, like selectors, you can say selectors, and more complex selectors also is there, that I will teach on the CSS3 class. Okay, like any some complex selectors, some dynamic, you can say dynamic selectors also in the CSS. Okay. Okay, so from tomorrow onwards, I will teach you the HTML5, and here I'm going to use both like HTML and the CSS file for
Okay.
creating some real kind of examples like header navigations and image sliders, okay, and some block contents and all. Okay, I'm going to use both HTML and CSS both.
Is it possible for you to take class on this weekend?
Weekend. Yeah,
This
yeah, I will
weekend.
take, Ananta, I will take the class weekend, Saturday, Sunday also.
Okay. Yeah, since the weekend, it's okay to take class. Means morning we are available, so that means your evening.
Okay.
Whenever.
Yeah,
Like.
definitely.
Okay.
So you want to pick the Saturday, Sundays, right?
Right.
Yeah, definitely. I will take the class. No problem.
Okay.
The same time, right? Same time you are available, or
It means our morning also we are available because since it's a weekend, so that means your evening or night. No, night maybe night. Night.
Yeah, night at 9, around 9 o'clock for you on
9 o'clock.
Friday
Okay.
and Saturday.
So that evening means I will let you know about the time. Morning, the same time I'm available. I have one or two classes for the weekend. Another program. So I have to finish that class on the evening on weekend class. So that
Okay.
means that is around 6 to 9, 3 hours classes there on weekend. Okay. So if
Yeah.
the class is there, your class I will take on morning time. I mean on my morning.
Okay.
On those
So that means
Sundays.
same time like
Yeah,
weekdays.
yeah,
Okay.
same time. So, yes.
Okay. Is it okay too?
Fine.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Oh, fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And this video I will share sometime. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. We're done
Thank
today.
you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.